Hi, I'm Tony Poulos and I'm at TM Forum Live in sunny Nice. Today, one of the keynote presentations, one of the premier keynote presentations was with Chris Lewis, who I have with me. Chris is the Managing Director of Lewis Insight. Chris, great to meet with you at last.
Nice to be here.
You're a contributor to the TM Forum and also one of my outsiders on the Inform channel. You were talking today with JP Raghaswamy from Salesforce about the colliding worlds of suits meeting the sneakers, which is an interesting title.
Yeah.
And something came up in that that caught my attention. You said that nobody owns the customer, and I'm not so sure about that. So please explain what you meant by that.
I think from the point of view of many of the older utilities, that the belief was that they own the customer because they obviously were a monopolistic provider, and that they carry that on through, so whether that be electricity, telco, whatever, and that they think they own the customer. The customer is at the end of the process. Whereas actually, if anyone owns the customer today, it's people like Amazon who have such a wide range of services, but they earn the right to own the customer because they're recommending things to you, they're giving you good deals. You know, the recommendation engine is a great thing for all participants on the web. You know, when was the last time your utility provider phoned you up or tweeted you or sent you a message to say, by the way, if you move to this package, you get a better deal? Yeah. It just doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
No.
And the other thing is with, is the customer ever going to be empowered enough to be owning themselves, do you think? Are we getting to that stage? Because you both touched on that.
I think it's true. The channel, we talk in the retail world about omni-channel, where you've got all these channels that the retail outlets have to get to you, whether it be physical shops or whether it be online or whether it be a contact center or person to person, a salesperson. That the channel is there for you to exploit as a customer, whichever one you like.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of the digital world, is it's going to fit around you. Whereas in the past, you had to fit into you had to go to the post office to pay your telephone bill or your electricity bill.
Yes.
Probably with some sort of funny payment system, or maybe use traveller's checks. So everything is moving towards helping the customer consume content, consume things to live their lives.
You're here also running a workshop around transformation to help service providers cope with this new customer centricity. What are you going to be telling them in that workshop?
It's a very interesting. We've been doing a lot of work with the forum, talking to many CIOs, CEOs around the world about how to transform and the agility required. So the report I worked on is around how to, in terms of agility for business and IT. And what's come out of the research is that actually, in order to make the customer the center of the discussion, you've actually got to go back into the organization, all the way back to re-engineer, to reverse engineer many of the aspects, all the way down to the portfolio. What are you actually offering?
Yep. And
then on top of that, the processes that deliver that portfolio, and then the systems and platforms that actually deliver from an IT point of view, and then come to the customer. And then actually, even though that's a linear process, you've gone back in, you've re-engineered all those pieces, actually then that ties up, and the customer is the focal point, and it becomes a perpetual cycle when you're actually continuously working with the customer. And think, that's what Amazon does, that's what Google does. It's continually in the face of the customer. And in fact, Skype said to us during the research, they have so much interaction with their customers every day. There's too many things coming through to improve their products. They have to sort of triage out many of the ideas coming from the customers. So the customers are giving them ideas. That's something that not just the telcos we're talking about, but how all perhaps more traditional larger businesses need to refine and review the way that they're working.
Have they had an advantage being newer digital service providers, for want of a better word, of not having inherited a lot of the really heavy overloads that we had in the telco industry?
Yeah, of course. And because having come from utilities, which were often state-owned for many, many years, layers and layers of bureaucracy that have kicked in there. We need to drive that out. In fact, one of the things that we were talking about with some of the people was actually anybody within a telco or within a large company whose job is basically defending against cannibalization should be taken out of the organization. Because you can't have that defensive an attitude anymore. Yeah. You've got to embrace it and put the customer at the center of things.
Well, let's hope we don't start a new phase in cannibalization after that comment. But Chris, thanks for being with me today, and thanks so much for being our guest keynote today.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.